She just down hanging out right now?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not entirely sure.
Cool. Did I tell you I'm going down and runs the spring surprise?
Are you? Are you?
Our little FOMO over the weekend.
Oh, you missed the princesses. So you're like, I gotta go. Well, spring surprise will be fun. What race did you sign up for?
I got the 10 miler because that was still available.
Gotcha.
And then I talked to Steven over at Give Kids the World, and I got a 10K bib.
That's awesome.
That's a little donation to the village.
That's awesome. That's the way it should be.
It goes to a good cause.
It sure does.
Yeah, they're having some kind of like a dinner on the night, that Friday, April 1st.
Oh, Give Kids the World, or?
Yeah, at the village.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, okay, Dennis. Okay, Dennis will be honest with me. Okay, Dennis will, because he's down in Texas and he's in Missouri and he's from St. Louis.
Yes. Okay.
Is Ricky flexing because she's sitting in the only spot in the house where there's a palm tree behind her? She's totally doing that on purpose. She says it's the only place she can record. No, that is the only place she can record where she can flex because she has a palm tree behind her. That is I almost hung up on you 7 times already.
This is
mad.
This is not on purpose. The other rooms
okay, quit lying.
Are legit. Like, you can hear the TV in every other room but this one.
Whatever.
So I'm just saying, you can hear it in every other room.
That's okay. Next week, I'm going to be podcasting from a beach. I'm gonna like be literally like sitting. No, I'm not. I'll be right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna be at the beach in like Michigan?
This fake backdrop never changes. Yeah. I would know what to do. No. Emily is always in the coolest places there. Now this week, she's in the Ratatouille queue.
Nice.
It's pretty cool queue.
That's
actually. It's a pretty good place to be.
That's
Get a little crepe when you're done there for dinner.
Yes. Ooh, crepe's a good choice.
You've had the crepes there, right? Haven't you?
I did it at the counter service. I haven't eaten it at the table service yet, but I've eaten crepes at the counter service. They're pretty good. Yeah. I get the sweet one. It's not savory. But
I might try a crepe when I'm down there, and I'll be down twice in April now. I got an announcement, so I'll say it on the show.
Look, oh yeah, I'll be down in April too. I think I'm gonna miss you though.
Well, when are you down in April?
Well, honestly, I haven't decided now at this point, but
I'm there at the beginning and the end.
I really need to talk to Brian. We might change our dates now, but I'll be there. And sometime in April, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Dennis is it's the best type of flex. I'd sit there too. I would too, but it's still.
I'm really not trying to flex. Hey, can I just say it's not sunny today?
Good. So, I hope it's raining. No,
it's actually kind of cold out here. So I say that, and y'all are gonna hit me because it's in the 60s. So
Actually, it's almost 70 here.
Ooh.
It is. Let's see. Oh, 64.
I have to admit, I was sweating yesterday, though. It was really hot.
Yeah. I know it was hot down there this weekend. Everybody was saying on Brunch.
It was definitely hot. Yeah. So, John says the table service crepes are better than the quick service. I mean, yeah, makes sense.
Maybe. They're more expensive. Like, that tastes better.
This is true. I heard that the table service one, though, had buckwheat pancakes or pancakes. I
wouldn't know what kind of wheat's in.
I thought they were like buckwheat, like crepes or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would have no idea. I'm just going to eat it and enjoy it.
I think it's delicious.
Breaking news! I got FOMO this weekend and signed up for it.
Yes, you totally got FOMO.
We're running the 10.5. No, it's not even a half. The 10 and the 10 and the 10.
The 10 and the 10. Oh yeah, the 10 and the 10. That's right.
10K.
Because they don't have a half for that race, do they?
I know. That's why I didn't sign up originally, because there wasn't a long enough race. Like I was like, I'm not going to go down if there's.
Oh my God, poor thing. Not a long enough race.
Well, I mean, you spend all that money. Like, I didn't want to spend it for just 10 miles.
Wow, way to sound really snobby there, Michael.
I'm not trying to sound snobby. It's expensive. Like, if you break it down, like, price per mile.
I didn't want to spend all that money for 10 miles.
No. It's just, I don't know. So, but then I got FOMO and boom, I paid $1 bajillion for it. So, whatever.
That's all right.
I'm just saying at Pop Century, because I told myself, like, if I could find a decent flight, and if Pop Century was open.
There you go.
And then Steven, I can get a bib at Give Kids a Whirl for a donation. I was like, sweet. So we're in. Yes. So we will be there, and I'll see you, Lonnie. I can't wait.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, run slower. I can't. I've told myself that. Run slower. Enjoy it. I can't.
And price per minute is much better. Yeah. Jeff's got a point.
I agree with that, but I'm too competitive, so that'll.
Well, and just enjoy the race. You don't even care what the miles are in this one.
And I enjoy the race when I see a decent time when I cross that finish line. That's how I enjoy the race. That's my life. I can't change my brain. My brain's messed up.
You are such a loser.
My brain's messed up. That's just how it goes. So. But I miss seeing everybody, so I will be down. But I will not run in a dry like a tutu little skirt.
Well, you don't have to do that. That's the wrong race.
That drive me crazy. I wore those wings that one year for Princess for the 10K, and those things beat the tar out of me the whole time.
Oh.
Like they look good in the pictures. I don't care because they just got like bam, 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 bam. All right, we have a question for Trisha, so let's get to work.
Okay.
Delete this. Here we go, episode 2046-ish. Welcome to episode 2046 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you are having a great week already and that, things are going well. It's just a normal beginning of March, turning into spring type of week for you. I know spring has sprung here in the Midwest. We've had a couple of days here in the 70s. So, yeah, things are good. So I can't complain about that. And speaking of somebody who is enjoying the good weather as we're recording right now, we have Ricky. And she is not recording from her normal location down in Atlanta, Georgia. She is recording as I look at her live here on Facebook and YouTube as we record the video, so check it out. Her backdrop is a little bit different. Usually she has all the little trinkets and stuff from all the Disney destinations. Right now live, it's like the Today Show. There's a window behind her. Somebody just passed by, waved. I'm waiting for a sign to get held up at some point during the show, and there's a palm tree blowing in the breeze. Nice. So we have Ricky. You can check her out over at the Mouse for Less. Ricky, happy Wednesday. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's it's kind of been a week. I was not supposed to be in the area today, but my dad had a heart attack. So I had to come down and check on him, make sure he was okay, take care of him. And so I've been here in the sunny state of Florida for a few days, although outside it's not very sunny right now, but I know you're going to say boo-hoo. It's only 60 degrees here. Sorry.
You have palm trees behind you, so I really don't. I mean, I'm just glad your dad's awesome because I've worked with your dad forever, so it's great news. As we're recording, this all happened very recently, so glad all that worked out. But yeah, I'm glad that it's not a perfect day down there because you're already flexing with the palm tree behind.
Correct, exactly. So yeah, so he's doing fine. He had some stents put in, but he's doing great. So he actually got to come home, and so he's just hanging out on the couch. And so I have found the only quiet place in the house, which is my mom and dad's porch, which that's the reason for the palm tree behind me because the palm tree's in the front yard. So, this is the only place for me to sit. So.
So Ricky, just so you know, Ricky is currently recording from the Villages.
I am, yes.
So maybe we can go out and do some investigative reporting here soon because the place, golf carts everywhere, right? Just nutty place, right?
Yes. It's definitely crazy. Lots of entertainment and festivities and things going on. I went to a strawberry festival here. Which was, just a bunch of booths and stuff like that. Not as many strawberries as you'd think. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, where's all the strawberry stuff? But
did you happen to see Daryl?
No Daryl. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got your joke, by the way. I'm probably one of the few people who did get your joke. So.
I thought him hit a bomb one day off the scoreboard at Busch Stadium, man. One of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit.
Yes. No, it was interesting. I bought some stuff and, but not as many strawberries. I bought kettle corn, as one does at a fair like that. You have to buy kettle corn. Yeah. So, but anyway, for those who are following along, there may or may not be a visit to Epcot on the day that is today, which will be Wednesday, which is the kickoff for the Flower and Garden Festival. So just saying, you may see some Flower and Garden Festival stuff today. Who knows?
Cool. And we'll talk about that on Friday. Some of the stuff you may be looking forward to at the Flower and Garden the first day, just some of the preview stuff. But I wanted to ask you real quick, because a little behind the scenes with Rick. What was the song? Because again, if you don't know, like I was always the DJ at the wedding receptions in St. Louis. Your parents were always shooting the weddings, either your mom or your dad. Sometimes both of them would be there if it was like a party for the JCs or something.
Right.
What was their song that I always had to play that they always had to do the dance to? Do you remember? They had a song. Like, parents always did a certain dance, and they always had a song. They're always like, Mike, you got to play the song. And
the only thing I can think of. The only thing I can think of, well, their song that they used to karaoke was "I Got You, Babe," which you didn't do karaoke, obviously.
I didn't karaoke, but I did.
Mom will probably chime in here in a second when she, figures this out.
True. She might be live.
Yeah, she's walking, so she might be watching. But the only thing I can think of, she says she doesn't even know. All right, cool. All I remember is there was this dance that a friend of theirs would do, and it was some dance to a Prince song. And they would request that a lot because that guy was always there and at events, but he wasn't in the JCs. I don't think so. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. That's the only thing.
Nobody cared. That's a good memory because they always did a dance.
It was some Prince song. Is there a Prince song called "The Bird" or something like that?
There's a song called "The Bird." Yeah, there's a song called "The Bird" by the time.
But no, it wasn't that song. I don't remember. Anyway.
All right. So let's get to the Disney questions. First question of the day comes from Stephanie, and she's out in Boise, Idaho, home of the Blue Turf. By the way, if you follow college football, whenever you turn on the game and it's
Blue Turf
TV, you always think your TV's.
Yeah, you're like, what's going on?
It's like, what's wrong with my TV? Like, it looks wrong. You're like, oh wait, they're Boise. Okay, so Stephanie says, "Dear Mike and fabulous BOGP group."
Yay, I'm fabulous.
That's exactly right. We have a cruise on the Fantasy booked for the summer. We've cruised several times before and have done Palo dinner, but never Palo brunch. I was able to get a Palo brunch reservation, but I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. I know this sounds crazy, but the reason is we're trying to pack light and not take lots of dressy clothes and shoes. We're pretty casual people. It would be fine with Cabana's breakfast, but I figured we could do Palo since everyone raves about it. My question is, what is the dress code for Palo brunch? Is it different than the dress code for dinner? Thanks for keeping me company on my commute, Stephanie, up in Boise. Mm-hmm. And I actually talked with Stephanie because I did book this cruise for her. We've been working together on this. And I told her that while Palo is an upscale adults-only restaurant,
yes,
it's especially brunch. It's not like you don't have to wear a tuxedo. Like I don't have to wear a tuxedo. I've gone in there, and of course, I'm probably not the most dressed up person. I mean, I work from home, and I dress pretty casual in life all the time. But I've worn like a button-down shirt and Dockers, and just like I call them like teaching shoes. Like some of these Docker shoes I have. And I was totally fine with that. We went to brunch that way. It wasn't anything super dressy. Didn't have on a tie. It wasn't like slacks. Just like Dockers and a nice, like, church shirt, I would call it. So that's what I wore. My wife wore just like a simple dress. It's very pretty, but it wasn't like anything super formal. I don't know, but I want to get your perspective. That's why I saved it, because I was saving it for like you and Pam. So give Steph ideas here.
So yeah, you definitely don't have to go formal. You don't have to go like prom or anything like that, or wedding attire. But basically I usually wear a simple sundress or something like that. And then, when Brian goes, a polo and some nice khakis, or, a nice dress shirt, maybe some black pants, something along those lines. Just very simple and basic. And like you said, don't have to go crazy about it. Just, something kind of a little dressier than you. And honestly, you might have some of the same dressy clothes that you wear to dinner on one of the regular nights too, if you wanted to dress up one of those nights too. So I know Disney Cruise Line, they've kind of relaxed a little bit of the dress code for dinner on at the normal dining rotation, but they do still kind of ask that you dress up a little bit. So but they definitely did relax that a little bit. So if you're looking at just wearing like jeans or something like that, then yeah, you can't do that. But just a nice dress and nice pants and shirt.
I still remember the time that I totally forgot to pack all my dressy clothes, and I had to use like rentals. Like
yes,
is you go in the restaurant, there's a looks like a big mirror.
Yeah.
Right? That's not a mirror, it's a closet. And they have like slacks and shirts. This for they might have a girl's closet, I don't know, but this was like the guy's closet. And they had dress shoes, and they hand like, what size are you? Because I went up there, I was panicked. I was like, oh man, we're doing this whole like meal with a bunch of people.
Yes.
I totally like, can I still, like, you got to wear these? Like, I mean, because I didn't have anything but like shorts and flip flops, and they're like, you gotta, but like, we have clothes for you, sir. So like, I felt like, like Pretty Woman or something, like, dude, I went in there with like tuxedo, because they were like tuxedo pants.
Yeah.
I was way overdressed, but I mean, they hooked me up, but I was like, dude, this is weird. Like, I don't know. The food's that good.
Yes, it is that good. I absolutely say go to brunch. Do not miss brunch. It is so delicious. You will not regret going to brunch at Palo. It's so good.
All right, Trisha's got a question. Here's my question. We splurged on the pre-fireworks dessert party. The reservation time in the app is 7:30 p.m. Should we show up early, though? So if you show up early, you're just going to queue up, right, Ricky? I mean, you've seen that, right? People are just kind of lined up. Is there any advantage to getting there, like being first in line, as opposed to being... Because as soon as they just let everybody in, I mean, you're going to be the first one through the kind of the swoop through the buffet, but I mean, you're probably going to get your fill either way.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is do they assign seating at the dessert parties? Yes.
I don't think so. That's a good point.
Oh, wait.
Table.
If it's the pre one, then that doesn't matter. Yeah. So, I mean, I would just show up at around maybe 5 minutes early, but I don't think it's probably going to be that big of a deal. I've heard that maybe they let people in a little early, but I mean, I just show up a couple minutes early. I wouldn't show up like, a half hour early, and otherwise you're just going to be waiting. So,
yeah, it's one of those things. I think as Disney fans, like when we see a line form, like we get anxious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get in that line. There's everybody's in front of me, but I don't know that you really have to. The person at the window there. So yeah, I think you're fine there. Andrew's got a question. Been with us forever. The first person to download our show each week. Appreciate that. Good question here. Okay, Blizzard Beach. Will this theme park ever get a new slide? So, Typhoon Lagoon, again, the water parks were down forever, and now they're back. Blizzard Beach is currently still under refurbishment. I believe it's been pushed out until May.
Yeah, I saw that.
Latest news I saw. So it's still got some time, but Typhoon Lagoons actually got the love in the last updates, right? It got
and that update was what, 15 years ago at this point?
I would say maybe time goes quick.
I don't know.
Crush and Gusher was probably, I don't know. You're right though, because I did ride Crush and Gusher a bunch of times, and Mallory's never been, and she's 14.
I'm just saying, I feel like, hold on. I'm Crush and Gusher.
I was going to say it was 5 years ago, but I bet you it was 15 years ago now that you say that. Because Crush and Gusher's probably, is that not the newest thing at Typhoon Lagoon?
Yeah, opening date, March 15, 2015.
Oh, so that's only 8 years ago. I've been on Crush and Gusher.
Wait, no, that's not right. March 15th, 2005. Sorry, my bad. I had a little line on my phone. I read it wrong. Yeah, March 15th, 2005.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time goes quickly.
Time goes very quickly. Yeah.
That's a cool little water coaster. Basically, it's like the Aqueduct. It's a little faster than the Aqueduct.
Yeah, it's like the Aqueduct.
It's the same in the system.
Yes.
So I would say that's kind of the newest of any of the innovations at either of the water parks. And so Blizzard Beach hasn't gotten anything new since before that.
Ever?
Maybe.
I don't think they've gotten anything since they opened. Honestly.
What's weird is too with I don't know what Disney, maybe they just don't see water parks as a good investment. But with Volcano Bay, I mean, if anybody's ever been to Volcano Bay at Universal,
it's amazing.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
I mean, I'm the Disney guy, right? I spent a day at Volcano Bay, and I was like, this place is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not just because of the variety of slides. There's a regular lazy river. There's an aggressive lazy river.
Yes, there is.
There's the tapoos where you don't have to stand in line. Just tells you when you're ready. And there's just a lot of technology there. But the whole thing is that I enjoyed was that the entire water park is super themed. Now, it's or Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, but you could tell that Volcano Bay is a lot newer, and the theme is a lot more seamless than even the Disney water parks.
Absolutely. No, I agree. It just feels more plussed. And obviously it feels like it's been given love, which of course, newer means it's been updated and things like that. And you're right. I mean, I don't feel like Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach have really been given love in years, because they really do just sit there kind of the same as they always have. And granted, they do get their refurbishments that they're done, but they don't get new attractions or new dining or anything really new. I mean, they had the last like new thing they had was that like special party that they had to celebrate like Toy Story, and I mean that was the last like new thing that they had. It was like
when they had those
party glow nights. Yeah, H2O glow nights. That's what it was. Yeah, it was, but it was themed after Toy Story's Party Saurus Rex, and so like that was like the last thing that they have really done over there. And I would like to see them give the water parks a little bit of love. It would be nice that if they added a slide here, or a new restaurant or something like that. But I kind of agree with you, Mike. I feel like they just don't see the value in adding anything to those. So I don't think that they're gonna, unfortunately for us. The parks are still cool. Get it? Water park? Cool. Never mind.
It's like Raging Rivers here in St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. Cool when it's hot. Yeah.
It's hot. That's right.
But
I think you did.
I don't feel like I don't feel like they're gonna do anything to plus the water parks anytime soon. Unfortunately,
seems like though, I don't know. Maybe they just don't see that like they get a return on investment.
I think that's
it. But I mean, it would seem like it's an opportunity because they can market it, and then because I think the water parks are such an afterthought for so many guests. Like I just think it's a revenue source that's relatively untapped. I think they just leave it there, and it kind of does its thing, right? And I think with just like you push like some kind of one new attraction at Blizzard Beach, and you could sell that park out every single day during the warm weather. But I mean, again, it's also a park that's weather dependent. And there's days, maybe instead of having, you can't have that place open 365 days a year. It's already closed for a chunk for refurbishment. And then you've seen like this year, I think more than any year, like in January and February, there were a
lot of cold days
closed for temperature.
Yeah. Weird. Yeah. I mean, obviously you don't want to go to the water park when it's, out like it is today, when it's like 60 degrees out there. It's a little chilly to go in the water park, even though the water's heated. I mean, it's, when you're running around, the wind whips through, and that cold breeze really feel it at that point. So
makes you tough.
Yes.
My grandpa would say it puts hair on your chest.
There you go. Exactly.
So I eat the crust on the bread. Okay. John Hartley in the live chat. Simple one. He just throws her in the chat. Let's hit the button here. AK Savannah versus Bay Lake Tower. So you got to pick. You're going to stay in a Savannah View room at Animal Kingdom Lodge, or you're going to stay in the Bay Lake Tower. So basically this is, to me, what I'm thinking of when I think about this situation, and everybody's debating it here in the live chat, is awesome theme versus location. To me, that's kind of what pops into my head first, because cost would probably be similar. So it's basically what you're looking for as far as what's the most important here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the Savannah room would be even as a Savannah room would still be a little cheaper than Bay Lake Tower. But that is tough. I mean, I agree. It is about location versus atmosphere. If you're looking for atmosphere, then obviously you want to go Animal Kingdom Lodge. If you're looking for location, though, I mean, you can't beat Bay Lake Tower. Personally, I'm probably leaning a little more toward Bay Lake, but that's just me. If I was going to stay there, I probably would do Bay Lake.
What I would say with this is, okay, here's your consideration is what I would say. If you're going to be in the room a lot, it's Animal Kingdom Lodge for sure, because who cares if you have a Savannah View room if you're going to be in the parks a lot? Nobody's
this is a good point.
Savannah. But if you're going to be spending a lot of time at the Magic Kingdom, and you want to get over to Epcot, or you're going to do some park time, man, walking to the Magic Kingdom cannot be. Here's what's better than walking to the Magic Kingdom. It's walking back at the end of the night. You're just like,
this is true.
I have to wait for a bus. Saw the fireworks. Look at all those people waiting to get on a bus. My head's gonna be on my pillow.
And you cannot put a price on that right there. That is, well, you can, and Disney does. But
yes, we do. Yeah. Pay for that. Yes.
But it is a very nice feeling knowing, I'm in my bed already. Thank goodness.
Yes. Okay. So Alfred's got a question here. Which do you think is better currently, the 50th anniversary at Disneyland or the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World as far as the offerings? So we did see, I don't know, we didn't really talk about this a lot because I think the Galactic Star Cruiser has kind of sucked all the air out of the discussions of anything else over the past, say, week.
Right.
By the way, we had an awesome live call-in show Sunday night. Scott wasn't there, so it's just me and the callers. And I'll be honest, everybody
Galactic Star Cruiser?
Galactic Star Cruiser, but we got all kinds of feedback and discussions going. It was awesome.
Nice.
That hits the feed tomorrow, so I hope everybody enjoys that. It was just a good discussion about all kinds of things. But one of the things I was going to bring up was how they're bringing back the nighttime entertainment at Disneyland. Nighttime parades, World of Color. Like, how exciting is that?
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they could bring that to Walt Disney World in some sort of fashion.
Yeah.
I know it's tough, but I wish they could. But I don't know. What do you think for Alfred's question? Land or world as far as who's doing the celebration better?
Well, I mean, obviously Disney. I'm assuming he's meaning Disneyland's 50th anniversary.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I would compare it to the 60th. I don't know. The most recent is what I would say. Right.
Well, yeah, their 50th was back in 2005. Or wait,
and they had the 60. Yeah, they had the 60th.
Yeah.
Recently. That's what I should have clarified that. Like the most recent landmark celebration.
Yes, that would have been the 60th. I mean, the 60th, I don't feel like they did as much for. I feel like they did way more for their 50th, for Disneyland's 50th, than what we've gotten so far.
We got cool castle decorations.
We do have a cool castle decoration. But I feel like, I mean, it is hard to compare just because of the fact that, COVID did change a lot. And, COVID was not in existence when, Disneyland's 50th happened. And, COVID changed a lot of what Walt Disney World could do for their 50th anniversary. I think that had they been able to do what I think they had planned on doing, then the Walt Disney World 50th, there would be no question that would take the cake. But I think because of some of the things they had to pull back on or change or whatever, I kind of understand where he's coming from of which one was better. And with that, maybe Disneyland was a little bit better. But I still feel like there's some good quality stuff with Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like they have some great, obviously the great entertainment that they're bringing back, and they're bringing it back slowly. I feel like they have some great, the attractions that they've done. They've done Remy's is already open, and then of course Guardians is going to be opening Memorial Day weekend, but not.
We'll see. Probably
Memorial Day weekend.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have just the snacks and the merchandise and stuff like that. And, I know that the merchandise has been a bit of a sticking point for a lot of people. A lot of people want that 50th anniversary merchandise. I do too. I've seen things that I'm like, oh, I really want that. And of course we have the problems with, shipping stuff right now and getting merchandise in and everything like that. So
my baked chips, like my sour cream baked chips, I can't even get those. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to get merch. I can't. I just want baked chips. They don't have for shipping problems.
But I saw that they just got in the coffee mug, and I really like that coffee mug and I really kind of want it. But they haven't had it since the October 1st. So there's things like that they really haven't been able to get in. That have made it a little more challenging for this year. So, I think that had we not had COVID and had all these restrictions and things like that, it would have been a very different celebration. And for that makes me a little sad about that. But it is what it is. And I'm sure, Disney's always good about extending their celebrations. So I have a feeling that this one will be extended just because of that fact, and maybe they'll add a few more things as the celebration goes on too.
See, here's the thing with this extended, because it's going to be extended. And here's the thing: this is the one time where it almost has to be. And
it does.
It's because times are opening. And let's knock on wood that things continue to improve. But I mean, this is the time where yes, let's extend this because the beginning of this celebration was such a mess. The times were not normal.
Right.
Let's make this a almost a 3-year celebration.
Right.
So everybody that was delayed gets the opportunity to come. This one, I mean, Year of a Million Dreams, I wish that had been a decade of a million dreams. I love it. I didn't care that got extended for 22 months, whatever it was.
Exactly.
But this one, there's absolute reason to let this thing ride for, a good couple of years.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they can, rebrand it a little bit. Maybe not call it necessarily the 50th, but still have a celebratory atmosphere with it. But I can see where they would, I know it's supposed to go 18 months, which would be what? Was it April?
Like summer of 2023.
Yeah, I thought it was April of 23, somewhere around there that I heard.
Yep.
So, I can definitely see them extending it till, at least December of 23. And hopefully they do.
So here's the thing, though, real quick on this, then we'll go into the next question. The thing here's the thing I think is Disney fans, we think Disneyland might have done better. And Alfred mentioned this. Remember how they did like the gold vehicles and stuff out at Disneyland? Disneyland really leaned into the nostalgia.
Absolutely.
More than World, which I get it. I think Disneyland's a more nostalgic park, right? I mean,
100%.
Started.
If you've ever visited Disneyland, you understand why that would be the case.
I haven't, but I mean, I get it because I studied it and everything. But the thing is, I wish that they would have leaned more into nostalgia for World too. I get it. Like it's not the same clientele for World. It's mostly people that are down there that are not huge Disney nerds. But I mean, and the vault is kind of a nod. I mean, that's definitely a nod to Disney nerds, right? I mean, you go in there and like people are like, dude, those Crocs, those things, they're park maps. Who's wearing those? And like, I was going crazy listening to podcasts. It's the vault is definitely towards podcast listeners, blog readers.
Yeah.
Like us. So that good job on that, Disney. But I mean, if they'd have done this a little bit on the attractions, stuff like that, or shows, just a little nod to nostalgia, a little bit more would have been nice.
I agree with that. I mean, 100%. I know that they relied heavily on merchandise to kind of sell the 50th anniversary, of course. And you're right. It would have been nice to see a little bit more done in the parks as far as, things like he said, the leaning on nostalgia of the golden, attraction vehicles on all the attractions that have been around for 50 years in Disneyland. That was a really cool thing that they did. And you're right. It would have been really cool if they'd done something like that at Walt Disney World. But again, we have to think about the time when they were getting ready for the celebration, and it was
shut down.
It was right in the middle of COVID, and there was just honestly there was no way for them to do a lot of that stuff. So, it is disappointing that they couldn't, but it's understandable as well that they couldn't.
I get it.
I get it.
So here's a question from Rachel. Says Disney stay at the airport hotel versus early check-in at a Disney hotel. Hey, BOGP crew, help! I need your expertise. We have a Disney trip coming up at the end of March and the beginning of April because spring break airfare was so ridiculously expensive. I hear you there. It's crazy. I booked red-eye flights to get our family of 4 from Utah to Orlando. We will land at MCO on a Thursday at 8:45 a.m. I currently have a day staying at the airport Hyatt reserved that will allow us to have a hotel room and access to the pools from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I booked this room so we would have a guaranteed private space to rest and recover from our overnight flights. Thursday night, we'll be staying on Disney property at the All-Star Sports Resort, a one-night stay, so we can attend the DVC Moonlight Magic at Epcot that night. And the next morning, making our way over to Port Canaveral to board the Disney Dream. My question is this. When I filled out the online check-in form today for All-Star Sports, it gave me the option of saying that I would be checking in as early as 7 o'clock a.m. So should I keep my day reservation at the airport Hyatt, or should I gamble that I can check into All-Star Sports much earlier than the official check-in time of 3 o'clock p.m.? Dropping the day stay reservation would save us a good bit of money, but then we wouldn't have a guaranteed room to nap. Our night at All-Star Sports is supposedly the first night they're open, so maybe that would improve our chance of getting a room early. What do you think? Stay the day at the Hyatt or just head straight to All-Star Sports and cross our fingers that we get a room early? Thanks for your help. Love the podcast, Rachel. This is interesting.
This is.
Here's the deal. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime shot because there's not going to be anybody get any of those.
Exactly.
There's no reason that they wouldn't get in early.
No, exactly. And that was that change when she said that changed exactly how I was going to play this.
Right.
Yeah, that changed it because what I would have said before, and this is for anybody else who comes up against this, I would have said keep the room at the Hyatt
because I mean, even if you put 7:00 a.m., you might not get your room till 3 or 4.
Absolutely. And if I've been on red eyes, like they are miserable, and you get in and you're tired, and especially if they are staying up late for the midnight, or is it Moonlight Magic, or for DVC that same night.
Yeah, they're gonna be all kinds of messed up.
Like, 100%.
You're going from West Coast to East Coast. Yeah,
and red eye, and you want to have some sort of nap in at this point, and I would pay the money to guarantee a nap. Now, that is if they hadn't said that the resort was opening that day. Because the resort is opening that day, there's a very good chance they will be able to check in early. I would pretty much guarantee that they're going to be able to check in early. I would cancel, and I would cancel at that point.
The thing is, like, I mean, unless that hotel does not open that day,
right? And we'll know about that. Yeah,
they would have to give you a heads up on that.
Yeah,
and I would hold on to that Hyatt reservation until like the last chance that you.
Yes,
I would not cancel it today. I would ride it until like the cancellation deadline, just to have that insurance policy. I'd watch, if you got a 48-hour cancellation, whatever you have, ride it till the very end. Set an alarm on your phone, whatever it is. But the thing is, I mean, seriously, if that hotel opens, they have to find you. I mean, just
they have a room available.
Tell your story. Like, there are 2,000 rooms in that hotel, and there's not a soul in that hotel for the last 2 years.
Right.
I need a place to sleep, and they got to find a room. I mean, you're going to get a room.
Yeah, right. You're going to get a room. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, I think you're going to have a great time. Just nap. Make sure you nap. That's going to be a real late night for you. So nap.
I need naps every day. Like,
I can't sleep on red eyes very well either. So, I mean, I've tried many times. I bring my own pillow. I bring blankets, and I still just have miserable sleep on a red eye. So you're going to want to take a nap.
You know what's weird is I can sleep like a baby on a plane now. Remember, really? I couldn't used to fly. Like I once fell asleep coming home on a takeoff. That was crazy.
Is there alcohol involved?
No.
Oh,
I haven't served alcohol on a plane for the last 2 years.
Oh, that's true. I meant before you got on the flight. Before you got on the flight, but
nope, no alcohol.
Good for you.
I'm just like I should be like an F-15 pilot now.
You're growing, Mike. You're growing.
Steel,
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I could be Jay Griffith's co-pilot when he's flying the 757s and 67s. Like, nice in training, I can get up there because I fly the 37. That's what I always fly Southwest. So I can, not that I fly it, I just sit there and look out the window. But
there you go.
Next question. It is from Adrienne. She says, "Hey, Mike and friends, I am a new listener and already a huge fan, so I realize my question may be a bit repetitive for veteran followers of the show."
That's okay.
Okay. And welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. I feel like I'm getting to know y'all and find myself increasingly curious about the history of your business, friendship, and show. For example, I'm not clear on the affiliation of the Mouse for Less. Is Ricky also a travel agent for the Magic for Less? So you are not a travel agent, but you do work
for the Mouse for Less.
For the Mouse for Less, which is an arm of the Magic for Less, if people didn't know. So
correct.
Explain that, because I get guests that will call the Magic for Less the Mouse for Less and all kinds of stuff. And I did that actually before I even knew Pam. So I'm guilty a long time ago too.
Yes. So the Magic for Less is the travel agency.
Correct.
The Mouse for Less is the affiliated website where we help with trip planning and help to inform guests of how to save money for their vacations, have the best vacations possible, keeping them as up to date with the latest news and stuff like that. So, it's kind of like a helper for for those who are planning their vacations. So we're like the little sister of the Magic for Less.
What I tell guests is the Magic for Less is the travel agency. The Mouse for Less is the fan site. Like if you're a fan and you need information, you need menus, you need anything you need, it's the fan place to go. The Mouse for Less, if you're a fan, it's got everything you need to plan a trip and to just be a fan. Like blogs, everything you need. mouseforless.com. Magic for Less is where we get it done. But I mean, there's also resort guides over there too, like planning tools.
Right.
That's where the travel agency resides.
Correct. And that's the best definition of it. But yeah, we're just kind of like the little sister, just hanging out and, giving you information.
Len's been with us forever. He didn't even know this. It's so funny. We should
That's funny. Yeah. We should
probably state the obvious. We've only been doing this for almost 14 years.
Whoops. Sorry, guys.
Good question, Adrienne. Thanks for joining us.
See, we're teaching other people that have been around forever. So good.
That's why there's the Magic for Less ads over on the Mouse for Less. This, if you ever noticed.
That's true.
She continues on the email. Also, I recently learned you worked for Ricky's father growing up. So how did you all come together? Did you all know Pam too as kiddos? And how did Scotty G get on board? Hope this isn't too personal. Maybe it has been covered in a past episode. I'd be happy to go take a listen. I'm currently going back and listening to past episodes. Wonder if I'll ever be able to make it back through all two.
Oh man, if you make it through all of them, whoo!
That's a lot. Just thanks again for all you do, Adrienne. Okay, so real quick, I never worked for Rick. Okay, no. So I worked with Rick because real quick, just because we've told this story before, but we have lots of new listeners all the time. So my parents went to school with Ricky's parents here in a suburb of St. Louis in a town called Florissant. So my parents were friends with Ricky's parents.
Correct.
Ricky's parents owned a photography studio. They went into photography, professional photography, shot wedding receptions all around St. Louis. My dad owned a mobile DJ company here in St. Louis. Okay, so I worked as a mobile DJ. Ricky's parents shot weddings. Yes. I was every Saturday night for a good decade at a different wedding reception in a VFW hall or a banquet center or what have you. I was doing these huge wedding receptions, and Ricky, we tended to book a lot of the same bride and grooms. Right. So I'd be the DJ, and either Donna or Ricky's parents, were the photographers. So I always, like every Saturday night, we'd be eating muscatoli together. It's a wedding reception. It's on VFW hall. So we're all good friends. So anyway, I think when I got married, of course, when we got married, we had Rick and Donna shoot our wedding.
Yes.
And so this was 2006.
Yes.
So we started the show in 2008. I kind of had this idea in my head, and I found out Ricky was a huge Disney fan, talking to Donna. And so when I wanted to start the podcast, she's like, you need to get Ricky. I was like, well, that sounds good. So I reached out to Ricky, got her on board. Pam actually came on board because we had a Trip Report guest way back in the day come on and like one of the first episodes, like in the teens or something, talk about how they had a great agent at the Magic for Less. And I didn't know what the Magic for Less was, but Pam heard the show somehow, or somebody heard the show at the Magic for Less. Pam emailed me and said, thank you for putting that show out there, mentioning the agency. It was great. I appreciate the kind words. I thanked her. I was like, you're an expert. Why don't you come on and help us out every once in a while? Because you know what's going on. We've done 10 episodes of a podcast. We don't know what's going on. So she's like, come on, let's go. So we've been doing that together. And Scotty G, I don't know where he came from.
He just glommed on and would never let go. I love you, Scott.
Yeah, so honestly, Scott's going to listen to the podcast. We do podcast cruises every other year, typically before COVID. We're going to do another one here soon, probably in 23. So stand by for that. But so Scott, he just went on one of our podcast cruises. That's how we met for the very first time. Like, we're just hanging out on a cruise. I'm like, this dude is crazy. He's a nut. And now we're best friends. So he knows his Disney. He's a DVC member. He does run Disney. He knows Disney probably is more than any of us. He's a nut, and he's just got a great personality, and everybody's giving great feedback when he comes on the show. So so that's how Scotty G got on board, and he fills in when people can't make it. He's not here tonight because he's at Walt Disney World finishing up Princess, but that's kind of it. So Ricky, would you add anything as to how the crew came together there? That's kind of a nutshell.
No, I really think that's pretty much the quickest we've ever established how we all came together. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Really, really and truly.
Yeah, we ate a lot of muscatoli. I had a lot of muscatoli and toasted ravioli with your parents back in the day. In a tuxedo. I had my one tuxedo that I would wear every Saturday night, and sometimes Friday nights, depended.
That's true.
Genesis Banquet Center and that poor little VFW up on Halls Ferry.
Yeah, I know. That one was
the JC VFW.
That was definitely a tiny little VFW hall. Yeah.
I used to get that place shaking. I'd play the music so loud. All right, last question is from Janelle. She says, hey, Mike and BOG crew, Magic Kingdom just posted a 4:30 closing during our stay in May. Wondering what your thoughts are on visiting that day. Will crowds be lower with the early closing time? We won't have a park hopper to hop somewhere else in the evening, but have park tickets each day of our stay so we can easily find things outside the park to explore for the evening. If we will experience lower crowds, we will definitely go. But if crowds were standard, we might choose another park for that day. Thanks for all you do. You guys are the best. Janelle, and it looks like she is in, well, I don't know, Franklin County somewhere. So pick your state.
Yes.
So what would you do in this case? No park hoppers, so that's kind of
that does make it more challenging.
I do have enough tickets, they're good. They can find something else to do, she did say.
That's true. I do think that the park will be a little less crowded that day. I mean, wouldn't you say that, Mike? That it would be a little less.
Yeah. And honestly, I've heard guests that where this has happened.
Yes.
And the guests come back that have done this and they say is the best thing they ever did. Go to the Magic Kingdom that day. It will.
And this is actually, so this has popped up a couple of times this year. Usually it's only once a year, or but this year it has popped up a few times because what they're doing is they're celebrating their cast members. Most of the time that's what they do on these nights when they close the park early. Occasionally you have a buyout for a big corporate group. But from, my understanding, they've been trying to have this cast member celebration for a few different times, and the weather has just been absolutely cold and frigid on the days that they've tried to have this. And so I'm guessing they moved it to May because they're just like, well, we know it'll be warm in May, so we won't have to.
I heard Justin Timberlake's going to be there.
Stop.
You know why? Because it's going to be May.
Stop. Okay. Anyway. So that's why your date got changed to a 4:30 close more than likely, unless, like I said, it's a corporate buyout. I would still go if it was me, and I'd probably end up going to like Disney Springs or something like that for the evening. But that's just me, so I'd go for it.
Yeah, I would tell you, here's what I do. I'd go there first thing, and this is just me because I like getting up early. I would go there, rope drop, just knock that park out, and then I'd have an ADR at Disney Springs or another resort.
Right.
It might be an Olivia's night for me. It could be a Sanaa night over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. And then that'd be a pool night back at my hotel. A little night swimming. Shoot, that's better than anything else, man. That's a great day because you're going to get so much done at the Magic Kingdom because the crowds are going to be low that day because everybody's going to be like, I don't want to go there if it closes at 4:30.
And honestly, it might be nice just to have that day where you can go back to your hotel and rest a little bit earlier than you would. Yeah, because I've noticed that like the days when the park closes just a little earlier, I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to bed at a normal time. It kind of feels nice. So enjoy that like rest evening because I think you're going to need it.
Self-care is important.
Yes, exactly.
On vacation. And Tabitha says, you make it easier to get through the work weeks. Thank you. Tabitha, thank you. That just made my week.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, sorry, but we got to cut this one short because we got to record Friday's podcast too. But we are going to get out of here and wish you an awesome Wednesday. And don't forget, if you have questions, send those in to Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com. We'll get those in the queue. And if you want to, join us here as we record live on Facebook and YouTube, usually on Mondays around 5:45 Eastern. And we'll have the crew all back together here soon. Pam is down at Walt Disney World. Scott's at Walt Disney World. Ricky's got a palm tree behind her. I'm obviously the only one that is not doing things right.
Sorry, Mike.
Well, I forgot to say my announcement at the top of the show because your palm tree was totally distracting.
Totally distracting you.
I will be at Walt Disney World for the spring surprise weekend. By the way, FOMO is real, people. FOMO is real. All you lizards that were posting the pictures over Princess Half Marathon Weekend, by the way, great job. You guys look great.
Yes, you guys are amazing.
Some of you guys that tried to jump in the pictures, you need to work on it. It didn't look great. Some of you guys looked awesome, but some of you guys...
Look, stop calling Scott out for this. Come on.
I know, those were terrible, but I'm the worst jumper. I'm the worst picture jumper ever, and Scott made a GIF, and it's the worst thing ever. So I'm just saying.
It is a really good GIF, yes.
FOMO's real. Friday night after Mexican, I told myself, I looked over at my wife, and I said, Pam, I really miss running at Disney, and can I go? And she said, I don't care. You can always go. You're like, that's your job. I'm like, boom. So I'm on the laptop. I told her, I said, I'm only going to go if, and I had conditions. I said, if there's a room at Pop Century and if flights are under this amount of money, and if that Tower of Terror bib, the 10-miler bib is still available, because I knew it was available. Like I checked like 2 days before, and I was like, if it's gone, then it's just like the universe telling me. The bib was available, Pop Century was available, and the flights remarkably were not horrible. For the one time, it was like one. The rest of them were crazy, but there was one flight that was like one something. So I was like, okay, that's decent. That's normal prices.
Yeah.
So there you go. And then of course, you know how you got to have the add-on itis, right? So I went over to, I'm not only doing the 10-mile race, I added on the 10K over at Give Kids the World. So I'm running for Give Kids the World for the 10K. So I'm not doing the challenge technically, but I will be running both races. And thank you to Steven over at Give Kids the World for that opportunity as well. So that's going to be a good weekend. Can't wait to see all the lizards and all of our friends down there over the spring surprise weekend. And I will keep my perfect status together for Tower of Terror 10 milers. Done all those races so far. But so excited to see you down there. But until we get back together on Friday, don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out for your Disney trip planning needs. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Just drop by the magicforless.com. We'll take care of you from there. Just fill out that quote form, mention the show, and you and I will be planning that next Disney vacation together. Check them out again over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. It really does help us out. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. That one extra click, again, takes you right back to Amazon. And also, please use our Patreon link there if you want to support the show each month. You get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. And thank you to all of our supporters. We appreciate you very much. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give me a follow on the social media. Be Our Guest Mike, Instagram and Twitter. Love to talk to you this week. Also, subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube to search for the Be Our Guest Podcast. And no live call-in show this Sunday night. I will be up in Schaumburg, Illinois, enjoying Giordano's Pizza and some Portillo's for lunch. And of course, some cheerleading with my daughter. So we'll be up there in the suburbs of Chicago this weekend. But 2 weeks from this weekend, we'll have another live call-in show and take your calls. It'll be a good time as always. All right. So you get the live show from this past Sunday night tomorrow on the feed. And then Friday, we'll be back again with some more fun Disney talk. So until we talk to you then, for Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Where did Ricky go? We lost Ricky. Dun, 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 dun. Let me save the show. Episode 2046. That's okay. You can just leave whenever you want. Hello.
I came back.
I know. I finished the show.
I noticed.
It's getting dark.
I'm here. I promise. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
You down there, Tess, for the 10 mile.
I don't know what happened. I don't know how I lost you.
I got a goal of running it in under 90 minutes.
You weirdo.
No. Probably won't happen because I'll probably be in like Corral Z.
Right.
Starting group 7. However they do that now.
You can still run it in 90 minutes.
That's under a 9-minute mile. That's pretty fast for me. I mean, I can, but that's fast for me.
Gotcha.
I can, but I'm like panting like a dog.
Got it. Please don't die.
I'm like,
don't die. Please don't die.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the things you just haven't done lately, but then you get home, you're like, God, I wish I'd have done that.
All
We've
right.
done that before. We've done that recently, I think, even. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we'll talk about the Fire and Garden, too, at the top of the show.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
248. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2048 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. And I'm coming to you live. Actually, I'm recording here in the Be Our Guest Podcast studios in lovely St. Peters, Missouri. But as you listen to this show, I'm up in the suburbs of Chicagoland in a beautiful town called Schaumburg, Illinois for another cheerleading competition. This is the last big one, I think.
Oh.
Well, cheerleading is a weird, fickle sport. So here, let me just give you a little behind the scenes. Now, I don't know if you ever watch that show with that like dance mom. I don't know if it's even called Dance Moms. Got that crazy dancers and all that. Okay, it's not exactly that. But so we have a gym and we have like 10 different squads in our gym. We're called Platinum Athletics. So most of our teams have fortunately gotten our bids to where we get to go to the summit, which is the big competition at Disney at the end of April. We have our bid, our team. We got it a couple of competitions ago. There's a couple of teams that don't have their bids yet. And so the deal is like the time's running out, right? The season, it's March. I mean, dude, this happens in April. Mm-hmm. So there's only a few more competitions, but you got to get qualified to go to the summit. So some of these teams might have to go to Ohio in the next few weeks. And I don't know if like everybody's got to go because they haven't gotten their bids. I don't know. So I'm this should be our last competition until summit, I hope. But here's what I know. Here's the good news, Ricky. And by the way, Ricky's standing by, but she knows. The good news is this weekend, I will be eating Giordano's pizza. And I'll be going to Portillo's. I don't know if you've ever been to Portillo's.
I haven't done Portillo's.
Okay.
They do have one in Florida, though. They have one in Orlando.
Yes. So Ricky's here. She's from themouseforless.com. Still has a palm tree behind her as she records, but it is getting dark. So maybe I won't have to look at it here in the next 30 minutes. I don't know. Ricky, what's going on? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's as of the recording of this, there's a palm tree behind me. But by the time this comes out, I should be home. So it's been one heck of a week, that's for sure. The week's not over for me. I get to go back to your neck of the woods this weekend. So I'll be in St. Louis.
Look at that. We're never in St. Louis.
I know, we're never in St. Louis at the same time.
You're actually going to be in St. Louis? You're not going to be in Jeff City?
I'm going to Jeff City. Yeah, we have the baptism of our niece, and so Brian and I are the godparents. So we are going to the festivities. So that's our weekend.
Okay, so you mentioned Portillo's. Just for folks that don't know, this is this little fast food restaurant. It started out, I think, in Chicago. And I could totally butcher this, but from what I've done research, yes, because that's how much I like this place. It started out, I think, as like a place called like the Hot Dog House up by Chicago, and basically they serve like Chicago dogs and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they're famous for like this Italian roast beef sandwich, but I mean, it's like a little diner. It kind of looks 60s-ish. With a lot of neon, a lot of old signs, little booths and stuff in there. It's it's table service. It's a counter service. Like you place your order, they give you your food, and you go sit down. Oh, it is so good. And the news that connects it to Disney, though, is that they built one right off a property.
They did.
They built one of these, and they built a White Castle.
Yes, they did. And both are
worth the trip.
And they're packed.
Both worth it, though. Both, right? I mean, would you say, for somebody that's never been to either one of these, both definitely worth an Uber ride?
Yes, I would agree. If you've never been to White Castle, you need an iron stomach, but go to White Castle and try that. Now, I've never done Portillo's, but I hear that they have just the most amazing hot dogs and sandwiches and stuff like that. So
it's so good. They have a shake that has like chocolate cake in it. It's so good.
Okay, well, as of the recording of this, I still get to go to Orlando, so I might make a stop at Portillo's.
You need to go. Everybody needs to go to Portillo's. It is that good. I'm getting no kickback from I'm not related to the Portillo's. I don't know who Portillo is, but it is so good.
All right, well, that may happen by the time this podcast airs.
Check it out and let me know what you think. So right. Yes, okay. So that's going to kind of tie into our topic today. But before we get to today's topic proper, which if one thing, we're a proper podcast when it comes to Disney.
Sure, that's what we are, proper, yeah.
You are down at Walt Disney World, and you are going to be at Epcot, fingers crossed, for day one of this year's Flower and Garden Festival.
Correct.
So Scott was there earlier this week, and of course, posting all kinds of pictures, and I'll tell you what, Epcot was looking awesome because they're getting the park ready for the Flower and Garden Festival. He took one shot looking back towards Spaceship Earth with the water and the monorail passing over and the reflections. And God, the flowers. And again, we say this every year. If you're from a place like I am, Missouri, everything still here is brown. Now, The good news is the snow is almost all gone. It's almost all melted, but it's like a mushy mess. The cars are all the salt on them. It's just gross here right now. And to see a picture like that, it's like, stop. Unless I can be there, knock it off. That stuff that's not even real to me. So what are you looking forward to as far as, because you're covering this stuff for the Mouse for Less, so you're previewing what people are going to maybe enjoy throughout the festival. What might you look forward to seeing on day one of the festival?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the big thing are the topiaries and the gardens. The topiaries are something that Disney is so well known for, and they just do a fantastic job of putting them out. Now, this year there is a topiary that celebrates the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, so that's exciting. And also, I feel like we're going to get some topiaries coming back this year that maybe haven't been, there recently due to, whether COVID or, whatever, but it is nice to see that I think there's going to be some topiaries that are back. And you're right, the green and just seeing the flowers, the colors, there is something so special about that this time of year. This festival does go for a very long time, but if you hit it early and it's still winter where you live, seeing the green and the colors of the flowers and things like that, there's just this boost that you get from it. I saw it a little bit last week because they were getting ready for the festival, and when I was there, so I could see a few of the topiaries. They actually had that flower bed that is where the monorail is. That they have a 50 in the flower bed as well, which is really cool.
Which I think that's a great place to take a picture, because that's like that'll be like, oh, that was this year.
Absolutely. It may be a little hard because the 50 is, in the ground. So it's not like the easiest thing to get a picture of. I tried a few different places. I think the easiest place to get a picture of that 50 is going to be on the monorail, actually, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to seeing the flowers. They have so many different gardens too. Different, gardens themed around various different things. Like one of my favorite, is the prehistoric garden. They always have these little dinosaurs that are in the plants and things like that. It's a fun thing for kids, so they can kind of see, the different dinosaurs and learn a little bit about prehistoric plants, and you can learn about other different kinds of plants that, go into food and things like that at the various different booths and stuff. So the gardens are really, really cool. And then, of course, the food booths. There are a number of food booths at this festival, as there always are. The thing with this one is it's a lot of fresh flavors. So it's a lot of fruits, it's a lot of vegetables that kind of tie into that whole flower and garden feel. And, there's so many of favorites that, they always have. One of my favorites is the frushi, which is fruit sushi. And it's made with, a coconut rice usually, and strawberry and a melon and pineapple are on the inside, and you get whipped cream. It's always a favorite of mine, and it's definitely a fan favorite because they bring it back year after year after year. And it's a great way for kids to kind of eat sushi and kind of learn about that too. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing the festival and learning some of the new things that they're going to have to offer as well. But yeah, just excited to see the greenery and the flowers and everything. Of course, they have the butterfly garden too, which is another really cool thing. Again, really great for kids. Now, obviously, at the beginning of the festival, there's not so many butterflies that are in the garden.
More of a cocoon,
yeah, exactly. They haven't really, hatched yet. So it's not as interesting the first couple, week or two. But as the butterflies start to, hatch and things like that, they flutter around it's an enclosed little area that they kind of stay in. Of course, they can get out eventually. It's not like they're like stuck inside forever. But it's really cool to kind of see the butterflies and how they form and things like that too. So I love the butterfly garden. Yeah.
So feedback there, Margie has a Portillo's right across the street from her house. So I'm very jealous. Alfred says he loves the frushi. So the
frushi is really good. It's really good. I like it a lot.
So is there a concert this weekend? Is there?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the concerts.
Who's there?
You know what? I don't know who's there this weekend, but I know I will.
There's some decent acts though.
There's always.
I mean, they're more my age. Like, I mean, if you're younger than me, you might not appreciate all the acts. But.
Well, that's true. You are correct. But it's called the Garden Rocks Concert Series. Is what the concert series is, and I think that this year they're only doing them on the weekends. So I think they're doing them like Friday through Monday. And then I think during the week they're doing different concerts with, local bands and things like that. So that's kind of cool. This weekend is the Guess Who. They'll be there March 4th and 5th. So, and then we have Rick Springfield on March 6th and 7th. So, yeah. I mean, you have like Kool and the Gang. You have the Pointer Sisters. You have Starship featuring Mickey Thomas. You gotta have that. You got Toby Mac. You got Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You got the Commodores. Flock of Seagulls. This is one my mom would probably want to go to. Colin Ray. He's new.
Oh my gosh, stop! I love Colin Ray.
Yes! Dude,
okay, but if he sings that song, "Love Me," I'm wrecked.
Dude. Mike, you have no idea how many Colin Ray concerts I went and saw as a kid because my mom and dad loved Colin Ray.
Oh, you don't even know. I worked a Colin Ray concert one time for 103.3 because one of the stations, my dad, when he's promo director, and my go-to karaoke song was a Colin Ray song. It was what was it called? It was "That's My Story," and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, of course. That's a great song. Yeah.
That was my karaoke song back in the day. Yes, I say.
Yes. That is a great song. And then, of course, you have like Little River Band and the favorite, the one who, just constantly plays at this festival, Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Yeah, dude, eventually they're just not going to be around. They got to be like 90.
I mean, yeah. So, that's kind of a few of the festival highlights.
Like Poison and Def Leppard or something. Come on.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be something? I'm just saying that would be ridiculous. That would probably not go well. I don't know. And I'm trying to look to see. Alfred asked about the 6th through the 10th. What I have is the April 8th and 10th is Blue October. And still TBD for April 10th and 11th.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, TBD. Yeah, that's a new band, right? Yeah. So
one-hit wonder.
Yeah, definitely a one-hit wonder. But yeah, and of course they've got tons of merchandise. Lots of different like collections. Because of course now you remember it was just one flower and garden festival collection, and now there's like 4 different merchandise collections you could choose from. And there's the Spike's Pollen Nation Explorers, so you can search for the little Spike the Bee all around the different World Showcase pavilions. And there's the Healthful Trail presented by Avent Health, which is an area for kiddos to kind of learn how to stay healthy along the Imagination Walkway, and it's kind of like a play area. So
let me ask you about that though. I love that corporate sponsors are reaching out and doing stuff like that, right? Because that is kind of in the vein of what Epcot used to be.
Absolutely.
Like that reminds me of 80s Epcot, right? A corporate citizen giving some edutainment and trying. I mean, of course, that is their message, right? They're an insurance company. They're a health advocate.
They're a hospital. I thought.
Yeah. I mean, they're in like healthcare.
Yeah.
So that's a great synergistic kind of thing for them to do. How many people do you think really take advantage of that? Because you're paying $150 or $120 to get into the park. Are you going to spend time? I mean, I guess there are probably a lot of kids that do that. Maybe I'm just not thinking correctly. I hope that people do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of it's from what I remember in the past, it's usually like a play area. So I think it's just like a corporate sponsorship of the play area, but they may have like little plaques and things like that up to help kind of teach families about different things. But I mean, yeah, that's definitely what Epcot is about, is, teaching edutainment. I mean, that's what the whole park was built on. So it is nice to see that things like that still happen at Epcot. Maybe not as grand as they used to, but at least they're still there in small ways.
So real quick, okay, outside of the food and wine, that'll be.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, that kicks off in July, so you're fine.
After the 4th of July till New Year's.
Exactly.
So, because this festival does go till the 4th of July.
It does, yeah. It goes, yeah.
I think to like the 6th.
I think it goes till the 3rd.
It's right around the 4th of July. So anyway, this news, we hadn't had a chance to talk about this, and I don't know if you have any thoughts, but how about that partnership between State Farm? Speaking of corporate sponsorship, and like Run Disney, and there's going to be like an official Disney podcast, which welcome to the group.
Right, you're only 15 years late.
It's fine. Welcome to the group. More Disney podcasts, the better. I talked about that on the Patreon show because I love content. But kind of a cool. I don't know if it's like a cool sponsorship. It's kind of like Jake from. Is it Jake? It's going to be the host. Is it going to be the guy that hangs out with Patrick Mahomes and doing this? I am not going to be surprised if that cat shoots the gun at the marathon next year. Like, I would not be shocked if he's on the stage.
Jake from State Farm?
I don't know. That's not Jake, but the guy that like hangs out with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, all right.
No, the guy, you know what I'm saying? The guy, the
Oh.
sales guy. He's the cool guy.
Jake.
Like he just hangs out with everybody.
Isn't that Jake? I'm pretty sure it's
No,
Jake.
I don't think that's Jake.
Oh, this is a silly fight.
I don't know. I don't think that's Jake. I don't know what that guy's name is though. But he's just cool. He's like the cool State Farm guy.
Yeah.
What I mean, what do you think about that partnership? State Farm and Disney.
It's a very interesting partnership. Again, I joke, but way to go, Disney. Started a podcast, 15 years later after all of the rest of us started. but it's definitely interesting to see, kind of how they will bring the State Farm elements to Walt Disney World. They're gonna, obviously the marathon is gonna be sponsored. It's definitely a lot of sponsorships. So you got the Dreamers Academy is gonna be sponsored, and then you have the new venues, which are going to be the State Farm Waterview Park at Disney Springs. So I'm assuming that's the giant stage that's at Disney Springs is what that's going to be called now.
It's like they do like for the sports stadiums, right? I guess it's just a naming
exactly.
rights.
It's just naming rights, and then the State Farm Fieldhouse at ESPN Wide World of Sports.
There you go. That's totally that. That's exactly what that is.
Exactly. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they go any other different routes. I'm sure, like with the planned Disney podcast that they have, they'll really just say, it'll be just an ad. Right. It'll be an ad read, but it'll be presented by State Farm, and that'll be the end of that. So,
like a good neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, no, don't give them any credit. They're not giving us any money. If State Farm wants to give us money, I'm okay with that. But they're not a sponsor of us, so no sponsorship here on the Areas podcast. I pay
them all the time for my Jeep because they're my insurance company.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny but I guarantee you, in 2023, that cat's going to be out there because that'd be a great synergistic thing, right? I mean, for him, he's probably hating it though. He's like, I gotta get up at 3:00.
Right? Exactly. No, I'm not doing that.
I hang out with Patrick Mahomes. Like I'm not gonna be out there. It'll probably be like 20 degrees next year because the weather was great this year. Exactly. I guarantee it's terrible. Anyway, so let's get to today's topic. Just a little news there at the top of the show.
Just a little Mike and Ricky shooting the breeze.
So we thought we would talk about a few things that we get home. We've done this show before, but I mean, there's a lot of stuff we've done before. We've done 2,000 episodes. Mm-hmm. So some of the things when we get home, we're like, dang, I didn't have the time to do that. And I wish I would have when I got there. And some of the things I just want to throw out there because I think there's a lot of things that if somebody would have brought that up to me beforehand, just if it would have been in my mind, just if I'd have been aware of that, if somebody would have said, oh yeah, don't forget, I would have totally made that a part of my Disney trip. But I just totally out of mind, out of plans kind of thing. And one of the things, this is a minor, and these are probably all going to be pretty minor things, but they're just kind of fun things to do. One of the things that I love to do on a Disney vacation, this is before I even get to the resort, but I get a kick out of it every time. This is one of the funniest things. I love to get my picture by the Traveler. Now, when I say the Traveler, do you know who the Traveler is?
I do know who the Traveler is. Yes.
Who's the Traveler?
He's at the airport.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Yes. So
the Traveler is, and I remember the first time I flew, when I landed in Orlando, man, it was like I had won the Super Bowl. Because if you don't know, we had a listener that was new to the show. We talked about this on Wednesday. Years and years I would not fly. No. I would not get on a plane. I drove back and forth to Orlando 1,021 miles and I'd take a trailer. I mean, God bless my family that I'm still married because they went with me. But I finally flew, and I remember that first time I flew to Orlando, I was so excited because I lived. I lived through a flight. I made it. I'd had a couple margaritas. I was happy. Walking through the airport, I'm like, give me a trophy or something. I flew. So, and I actually got a button. I'm celebrating that I flew. I remember that button. I still have it somewhere. But anyway, this was before that. I got to the airport and I'm going through and I'm excited because I got to see the airport, right? I love airports. I love airplanes, but I was scared to fly. And I see this like person sleeping in a box, like in a glass case.
Yes.
I'm like, what's that all about? And why is that cat inside of a glass case? That is weird. I'm like, am I drunk? Like, what's going on?
And why is he dressed like it's 1980?
I might have been a little loopy because I had to fly and I had a couple margaritas. And I'm like, things are not looking good. So what it is, it's this awesome sculpture kind of thing. But I mean, it is so realistic. Yes. This thing, it looks like a tired traveler. That's what it is. It looks so lifelike. It's a guy with like an afro, like with all of his stuff. He's kind of disheveled because he's, traveling. And we all look that way when we're waiting for our flights, traveling through an airport. But I would say, seek it out.
Yes.
Get your picture with it. It's so cool. Like, get your picture with the Traveler on your next trip. It's fun.
Yes, it is.
You
And
do that?
I've not done that, but I've seen the Traveler and taken pictures of it. It's an amazing sculpture or art display. And yeah, you do think it's so realistic when you first see it. Like, why is that guy in a box?
He's just cool. Yeah, he's tired. He's asleep.
Why is he sleeping? Yeah. So it's
by the way, the day we're recording today is actually National Sleep in Public Day. That's kind of
well, then there you go. That's didn't know that
that
was
guy.
a thing.
He's at MCO now.
Yes.
He moves around because he was down by the food court.
Yes,
I think now. Last time I saw him, he was. So if you're getting off the monorail, like from your Southwest flight, I want to say he was kind of in the corner right as the security booths, like as you kind of clear that area, he was off to the right, but he does move around. Like, I mean, he does move, like the whole case moves. They shift him around. But if you ask, just say, hey, where's the Traveler?
And they know.
Yeah, if you've never seen it, like he's famous. Yeah. Like if you've never seen him, you got to see this thing. And you got to do a selfie with the Traveler.
That's true.
He's awesome. Because Diane's asking, he's at MCO. I'm serious. If you've never seen, Google it. You got to get a picture with the Traveler. Just so quick. I mean, these things are not going to make or break your vacation, but they're fun. They make your vacation. Like, you'll come home and talk about it. Because you'll show a picture somebody like, who's that? That's Uncle Traveler right there. He's pretty cool. All right. So what do you have, Ricky? Something that you get home and you're like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. So, one of the things that I often, obviously when you go to Disney's Animal Kingdom, they always say it's not a zoo. And so, I kind of take that to heart. And, I do most of the attraction type stuff that is at Animal Kingdom. So, I'm looking at, doing Everest or doing Flight of Passage or Kilimanjaro safaris, or, I'm really focusing on, Festival of the Lion King, all the things that are like those headlining, show-stopping things. And, a couple of the things that, this is the part that I definitely am most guilty about. The things I'm like, I should have done that, and I didn't. So I'm going to name two from this park, but the one is the trails that they have. They do have a few, they have some that are around like the Tree of Life and things like that. There's like one that has like otters. There's also, of course, the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which has the tigers in it. And then, of course, there's the Pangani Forest or Gorilla Falls. I went back in time. And so, and that's another really cool thing because you get to see all the gorillas and things like that. So they're really great experiences. And they're just something that I pass up a lot of times. And truthfully, to be honest, a lot of the reasons why I pass them up is because, for Mike and I, like the St. Louis Zoo is one of the best zoos in the country. And so, when I go to see animals, I'm usually going to the St. Louis Zoo to see the animals because, like, seriously, like the St. Louis Zoo is like amazing. So I don't tend to think about seeing the animals at Disney's Animal Kingdom because I'm like, well, if I want to see animals, I'll go to the St. Louis Zoo and see them. Granted, I'm at Animal Kingdom, so it wouldn't take much to go see them. But, I still in my head, I'm like, oh, no. I got that. I'll just go see them in St. Louis. I don't even live in St. Louis anymore. So this is really a stupid point. But it's just one of those things where, I don't do the animal trails as much as I should, and they're very cool. And then the other thing that I definitely don't do, and again, this is animal related, is I don't often go to, Rafiki's Planet Watch.
You're going to say that because here's the thing, all these things you're saying, like, I never regret doing them, but I never put the energy into doing.
Yes, exactly.
I rarely put the energy into it, but when I do them, I'm like, I should do that more. Every time, I'm like, I should do this every trip.
I should do that more. Yeah, exactly. It's so cool to do the Rafiki's Planet Watch. I feel like it's all right. It's a little dated at this point. It needs a little love. I'll give it that. But it's still a really cool experience. You do get to have like the petting zoo that's over there, so you can pet goats and things like that, and then they have an area inside where you can learn. They have the animation area where you can learn how to draw animals, that are Disney cartoons. So
you can do surgery on an animal.
They do surgery.
You can't do surgery.
They don't. You probably shouldn't do the surgery, but you can watch surgeries get performed. Those usually happen early in the morning, or earlier in the day. So if you do want to see a surgery, potentially, head over there kind of first thing and see if there are any surgeries happening that day. And then they can kind of, push you the right direction for that. But Rafiki's Planet Watch, again, something that's so simple, but I just always forget to go over there. And a lot of it is because you do have to take the train to get over there. So
which is a plus though. That train is cool.
Yeah.
It's a different type train. It's that side sitting train.
It is, and you get to go past some really interesting backstage areas too that you can kind of see. So that's also really cool. So don't miss out on those two things that I always miss out on, because they are really, really neat things that Disney offers.
Agreed. Okay, so here's now something Ricky probably won't do. And it takes a little bit of planning, because you're not going to do this every day of your trip. Most likely, some people do. I have some listeners of the show that
get up early.
It is. It's totally get up early. It's get up. So I know a lot of folks, I like to be there at rope drop, but I mean, this is like before rope drop. This requires way before rope drop planning. So this is to get up pre-sunrise on your trip. And, you can get your favorite beverage. I know Ricky likes her Starbucks. Go down to the food court, as soon as it opens, grab a coffee. I think all the hotel rooms at Walt Disney World now though, have coffee making with Joffrey. So you could do that, have something to make in your room. But a lot of the resorts have a body of water that you can walk around. Say you're at Port Orleans, French Quarter, Riverside, you can walk along the Sassagoula River. You got those bridges you can walk across. If you're at Coronado, you can walk around that lake. If you're at Pop Century Art of Animation, you can walk around Hourglass Lake. Caribbean Beach, Riviera, they have a nice body of water. Beach, Yacht, Boardwalk, Crescent Lake. Animal Kingdom Lodge is a little bit more challenging to do this, but not every resort is going to have exactly kind of the same thing. But if you have a resort like these others, get up right at sunrise and just grab a coffee, hot chocolate, a soda. You don't even need anything, but don't even listen to a podcast. Don't even listen to music. Just get up and just walk around your resort for, a good 20, 25 minutes. A slow stroll. I run. That's when I run, but this is what I enjoy. But most people are just going to enjoy the slow walk, because and I've said this for many years, and I've heard this from other listeners too, that have said the exact same thing. If you're a huge Disney fan, there is something, and again, I hate to use the word magical, but there's something very interesting and very exciting about watching a new day break at Walt Disney World. And it's not just at the theme parks. It can be at Pop Century, because what you see is you're one of the very first people to be out there kind of strolling around, and you see the sun come up over Hourglass Lake. You see the Skyliner start to cut, you start to see the Skyliner start to move. You see some joggers out there. You see a few folks that are, walking around with you. You say good morning to them. And then you start to see a few people maybe getting up. They're in their matching outfits, getting ready to go to Chef Mickey's for an early pre-park opening breakfast. It is just exciting to get out there. It's not hot. The temperature is usually nice. It is a great way. I say do it at least once on your trip. Get up, see the sunrise, just stroll around your resort before it gets all hectic and crazy for the entire rest of the day. Be one of the first out there to enjoy your resort, especially if you have a body of water to walk around. I think there's something, because in the morning that water's flat. It's just like a mirror. It's cool. So I say do that. That's one of the things I love.
That's good.
You got to plan for it. You're not going to do that after staying out till 2 a.m.
No.
You got to this after like a pool night or something.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea, actually. And you're right. No, I probably wouldn't do that at, sunrise, but I would enjoy doing it, in the evening, after you get back from your hotel, after you get back from the park, and just walking your, because, too often you just go right back to your room, so I feel like really taking in your resort at that point in the evening when, it's still warm out in the evening, and, you could grab a drink or something and walk around the resort grounds. And, this is the perfect, kind of is this romantic experience, just walk around with your significant other, or, even, you can walk around with your kids, and just kind of take in the atmosphere of your resort. Because the nighttime, at the resorts, they do take on a whole new life. And they're very gorgeous at night, and when they're all lit up and things like that. So that is another really great time to enjoy your resort. And I feel like that's something that I always am like, I should have spent more time at the resort. You are 100% right. So stopping and taking a few seconds to actually go around the resort is a really, really good idea.
I think too, the challenge though at night is one, you're usually tired because you've been going all day. So you just don't, you're just not as it's not as enticing to walk. Like, I'm not walking all day. I just want to sit.
Yes.
And also at night, there's a lot of stuff that you're competing with. Like, I could be doing this. I could be still at the parks. I could be, and there's a lot going on. A lot of stuff's still open.
That's
but
true.
If you're, walking around your hotel at 6:00 in the morning, it's kind of like,
there's not a lot open at that point. Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. So really, it's very peaceful. Like, you don't have any kind of inner conflict as a Disney fan. Like, you can really enjoy the moment because you're seeing everything kind of come to life. Like, there's nothing else going on yet.
Yeah.
And very rarely you get to experience that at Walt Disney World where it's peaceful.
Right.
That's about the only time. So that's cool. So what other kind of things do you forget to do, or, you get home and like, oh, I wish I'd spent some time doing that?
So, honestly, lately, I feel like more and more I just kind of ignore Disney Springs. Not because of the fact that it doesn't have, anything to offer, but just because of the fact that, I'm usually here for a couple of days and I'm just trying to fit in the parks and get as much done in the parks as I possibly can. So on these shorter trips like this, I really do just kind of go, I can go to Disney Springs another time, or I can go another time, or whatever. And so it just keeps getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And there are a lot of good things that Disney Springs has to offer. If you do want to go shopping, there's a lot of great, places to shop around. Of course, you have the biggest Disney store in the world. And, granted, I don't have a Disney store anymore. So, that's the only place I can go shopping for Disney merchandise now, unless I want to go online. So there's that. You also have some great restaurants. Obviously, some of our favorites are things like Homecoming. But, even if you wanted to go grab a drink or something like that, sit by the water, something like Jock Lindsay's or Paddlefish or the Boathouse or things like that, those are great little places to just kind of chill, enjoy. Maybe you do it at sunset or something like that and watch the sun go down and over the water. And it's a great place to just kind of chill and relax. Another thing that I kind of often forget about is the fact that they do have some entertainment options at Disney Springs. So you do have things like Splitsville. I know we kind of talked about that recently, where you were saying that would be one of your 3 things for Disney Springs, and that's an absolutely fantastic thing to kind of do at Disney. If you've got a day where you don't have anything to do at all or whatever, bowling at Splitsville is a fantastic idea. But there's also, the new Cirque Du Soleil show, which it just reopened. It's called Drawn to Life. Hear rave reviews about this show, but again, I've never seen a Cirque show at Disney, and a lot of it is just because I'm like, I'll get to it another time, or I'll get to it another time, So
it's a hard time spending the money because I've already got like a ticket that gives me so many opportunities to do so many fun things. Like, do I want to pay $100 more to see a show for 2 hours?
Exactly.
Every person, you just mentioned it, every person that goes and sees it, like, totally worth it. It was awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. So, that's a really, really great experience as well. The times that I go to Disney Springs the most are around the holiday season. And the reason being is not because I'm shopping for Christmas stuff, but because they do have, it used to be the Christmas tree trail. They've made it a little better over the past few years, where now they have the Christmas trees spread out throughout the entire Disney Springs. And what they do is they have different Christmas trees that are decorated, based off of different themes. So you may have a Mary Poppins tree, or you may have a Peter Pan tree, or a Little Mermaid one, or whatever. And so it's kind of neat to go around and find all the trees, which is one of my favorite things to do around the holiday season. But there's so many great things at Disney Springs. go grab an ice cream at Ghirardelli, or grab a cookie at Goofy's Candy Company, or or I guess I should say, grab a cookie at Gideon's, grab a Rice Krispie treat at Goofy's Candy Company. You definitely want to stop and get a cookie at Gideon's. But
get a donut at Everglades.
Get a donut at Everglades. Make sure you put your name on the list for Gideon's, though, because I'm still hearing they've got hour-long waits. So if you want a cookie from there, you might want to get there early and put your name on the list. But there's so many great things at Disney Springs. I still love, one of my favorite places to eat at Disney Springs is Deluxe Burger. I think they have fantastic burgers there. And, you don't hear it talked about as much now. You heard it talked about,
Yeah. They have good sauce.
Oh, their sauces are amazing. You heard Disney fans talk about it over and over and over again when it first opened. And I still think Deluxe Burger has really good, burgers and fries, and milkshakes. And, and of course, then there's Chicken Guy, which, I hear I still haven't been there. But they have all the sauces too, and lots of different chicken fingers. Yeah.
They're good. Yeah, I've been there many times because my kids. Yeah. And
of course.
It's really good.
And it's reasonable. And then one of my favorite places, of course, is Blaze Pizza. I don't go there at Disney Springs as much anymore because we have a Blaze not too far from my house now. So I go to Blaze by my house now. But it's still a really great place to get pizza that's really reasonably priced as well. So I really do love Disney Springs, and it's a place that I don't go as often just because, I'm like, I'll get there next time. So, I've got the parks to go to. I'll get there next time.
Same thing. And when I leave there, I'm almost like, I had a good time. But I'm almost like, we're not going to get there.
But just stop and relax. I think that's the thing that, I just don't do. You're always on a mission. I feel like when I go to Disney Springs, I'm like, I got to go here or I got to go there. And I never just sit and relax. Yeah.
So here's my last thing I'm going to throw in here real quick. And it kind of goes along with what you said about Animal Kingdom, is that when I'm in the theme parks, because I want to throw some theme park stuff in here, is that I tend to not go into non-vehicle type attractions.
Oh my gosh, this was totally going to be my next one.
Here's the thing. So I'll overlook things like One Man's Dream. And I do it occasionally, but when I do it, I'm like, gosh, I should do this every trip because this is kind of the essence of why Walt Disney World is here. Everybody, I always say, after I get on, see the movie, especially, I'm like, everybody should be required to see this before they're allowed to enter any theme park. This should be like a prerequisite of your vacation. You should have to sit here. They should pry your eyes open. You should have to watch that movie. Okay, now you can go in and have fun. But I'm not just joking, but kind of. But so One Man's Dream, you should have to just kind of pass through and see that. Tom Sawyer Island. Every time I go over there, it's so much fun, but it's like, I'm always like, it's too much work. Do I want to get on a raft? Do I want to wait? Do I want to walk? Do I want to go through? It's a blast. So you mentioned the trails. They were a good example of that. The exhibits in the American Adventure Pavilion, stuff like that. See the traveling exhibits. Take the time to see the things. World Showcase just in general gives you the opportunity to do explore. You don't always have to be in a dune buggy or on a roller coaster or what have you. So, people mover vehicle or, on Space Mountain. You don't always have to be in some kind of a vehicle, right? To be having a good time at Walt Disney World. Sometimes your feet can be the vehicle and you can just explore at your own pace. But I think, maybe those things were a lot easier to sell in the 70s and the 60s. 2021, maybe those things are really hard. But again, when I do those things, I'm like, God, dude, this is kind of the essence of where all this stuff came from. I love it.
I 100% agree with this. This was totally, I'm going to kind of piggyback on what you said, because you're right. A lot of times those things that are exhibits, there are so many different exhibits around World Showcase to see that people just generally don't do. And they've got so many great things that you can learn about in World Showcase. Another really common thing that people don't do, and you can do as adults, although a lot of kids do it, is the Kid Cot fun stops. Now, they're not as great as they were before COVID, but they still are trying to do the Kid Cot fun stops. So they still offer those, and it's not the paint draw Duffy anymore, but they have these really cool cards that they give you, and you can learn about different countries. They'll put, I think, a stamp on them. I think they still write on them. I'm not sure if they still write on them anymore, but they at least put a stamp on them. So that's another really cool thing. And like I said, you can do that as adults. So that's a great fun activity that you can do. But to kind of go in my own direction with this, my thing is that I don't often do, and I'm really bad about it at something like Disney's Hollywood Studios and also Animal Kingdom. I don't see a lot of the shows. I'm really guilty about, going in the park and seeing, oh, hey, Festival of Lion King is going to be starting in, 20 minutes. Do I really want to go see it? I mean, I've got time to go see it.
And every time you walk out there, you're like,
it's so good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I don't see that. I don't see a lot of the shows at Hollywood Studios. I can't tell you the last time I saw Indiana Jones. And I know it's a great show. I know it's fantastic. I mean, look, everybody lost their minds when the show came back recently. So I'm I'm sitting here going, okay, we are in 2021, 2022, right? You guys are losing your minds about Indiana Jones, which hasn't been relevant in a while.
Get punched out. I know they don't do that anymore, but I still want to get punched out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there you go. So I mean, I haven't seen that in years. I haven't, seen Beauty and the Beast live on stage in years. Although I think they should replace that with Encanto. I'm just saying. So put an Encanto show in there and I'll be there all the time. So, there's that. There's also, of course, You've got the Frozen the Frozen sing along.
Okay. I love that. I'm a huge advocate of that show.
The Frozen sing-along is so fantastic. And this is a show that I absolutely 100% should go see every time because the historians are hysterical. The way they can ad-lib is just phenomenal. And it's a lot of totally make this show what it is. It is fantastic. But if you haven't seen it, you really, really, really should. I never see the show on the the castle, the stage that they have there, mostly because it's hot and I don't want to stand in the middle of the sun. I mean, but they have a great show there too. And of course a lot of the, the World Showcase shows, when you've got all the entertainers that happen around World Showcase, a lot of times I'll stop, I'll watch them for a few seconds and then I'll move on, so I'm so guilty about that. And I know that I shouldn't be. I enjoy them when I stop and when I like actually like watch them. But I should do it more. Now, here's the one thing that I always would watch whenever I would come across it. And I really hope Disney brings it back sooner rather than later. And that's the Streetmosphere characters at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
100%. Whenever
they had a Streetmosphere show, I was going to stop and watch that show because those characters, the way they were so quick with their improvisation, I mean, they were amazing. And Disney, I really, 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 really hope that you bring Streetmosphere characters back sooner rather than later because we miss them so, so much. They just make Disney's Hollywood Studios that much more special. So Streetmosphere would be great.
Yeah, so the one guy in World Showcase currently that I will stop and watch his whole show when he's there, the Italy guy with the whistle. Love that guy. He speaks with a whistle, and he's awesome. So that's my guy that I have to watch back for Sergio, I think is his name. Love that
guy.
Sergio. That he does and comes out and throw the ball and he makes you miss and stuff. He's awesome. And the guy stacking the chairs that climbs the chairs in France, I don't know if he's back around.
I don't think I've seen him.
Yeah, he makes me nervous. So
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're out of here, but Sarah in the live chat loved the scavenger hunts. Another good thing. Always a lot of fun. It's a good way to kind of explore, kind of a guided exploration, usually of World Showcase. So,
yes.
Good thought there. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's show. But hey, jump on social media and let us know what are some of the overlooked things that we missed today that are going to help all of us kind of think about some fun things to do that we just don't think about down at Walt Disney World on our next trip. So let me know at Be Our Guest Mike on Instagram, probably Twitter, and I'll retweet those for the good of everybody. So drop in on there. Give Ricky a follow on Instagram and Twitter as well at Ricky Nibs. You can follow her adventures down at the Flower and Garden Festival this weekend. And just join us over there. Don't forget today's show brought to you by The Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan that next Disney vacation. You know what to do. Just drop by themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who allow us to put the show out 3 to 4 times a week all around the world. Couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week. So join us over there, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. If you don't mind, leave us a rating and a review wherever you download the show. It really does help us out. And thank you to everybody who has done that already. We appreciate that so much. All right, time to get out of here. And of course, we'll be back again on Monday with a fun trip report for your feed. But until then, have a great weekend. So for Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right. Here, thanks for doing that. I appreciate it.
Of course. Sorry, it's in a different location, but I'm glad that I could do it. I literally brought everything with me. I brought my, ring light. I brought the microphone. I brought my laptop.
Studio. Look at you.
I did. Mom said when she walked in here, she's like, it's like you got your own little studio set up. I was like, yes, I do.
All right. Well, tell everybody I said hello and tell Rick to take it easy.
I will not be here on Monday. So just a heads up. I will be on my way. Yeah.
But Pam should be back.
Yeah, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to be here Monday. So if you need to record Tuesday, I can record Tuesday, but I will not be able to do it Monday.
Okay, I'll send out a group text. We'll figure it out. We got through this week, so let's.
We did. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Have fun.
Have a great week. Bye.
See you, everybody. Bye.